Well, we are a social landlord. We've got 5,500 homes, which provides homes for about 10,000 people across the Oxfordshire and Wiltshire area. We believe strongly in equality. We provide services for people across the age range, across the income range, and we need to do that fairly and equitably. And we also need to recognise and respect people's individual needs. They're all different, and we need to assess their needs properly and make sure that the services we are providing are fair.
There's a number of areas where I work with Soha. Probably the main field is unfortunately with domestic violence victims. The sanctuary scheme is a target hardening process so that we look at a property and we make it safer for that domestic violence victim so that they will feel safe in their own home.
If the victim can stay in the property, then there's ways that Soha can make the property safe. It could be making the lock safer. It could be, changing the door altogether if that is needed. Making windows safe. It just depends.
Since I've been working with Soha and I've been in this area, I've been absolutely amazed by the response, how closely they work with us, how quickly they respond to things, and they keep us informed every step of the way.
We do passionately believe that people have rights to have a good life and live peacefully in their homes. It's not just about building properties and putting people in there and just letting them be, but it's also about making sure that they live in a safe community.
When you've got that sort of bond, that partnership working, it makes life so much easier, and it means you get things done a lot quicker as well.
Holt actually started, it was an initiative from the gay community, from a group of gay men, because they felt that the police weren't treating homophobic crime seriously enough. So it's brought on board organisations like Soha who want some resource to gain a greater understanding of issues facing lesbian and gay, bisexual and transgender people. Although all the publicity indicates that people are reporting more, are quicker to report homophobic crime and transphobic crime, there's still a reluctance, so we act as a third-party reporting system. Soha Housing, they are very proactive, so we have a meeting once bi-monthly, and Soha, a representative of Soha, if not two, attend those meetings. I feel everybody needs to feel secure in their home. I mean, that's it. They want to feel secure, they want to feel safe in a community that they like being in. And in order to produce that, I think you need a very robust antisocial behaviour policy, which I believe Soha have.
I was working with Mary last January, for about 6 months, trying to get her finances in order, and obviously with a big change with her husband going into a care home, there were a lot of financial and emotional issues to look at. I spent quite a few hours here with Mary sat beside me, giving me permission to speak on her behalf, so there was a lot of representative work, phoning council tax, phoning pension credit, so we got a backdated pension credit, and we got Mary's basic pension raised and backdated by 3 months.
He went all through my finances and advised me about the benefits I wasn't receiving, and sat over there, in fact, with the telephone, and I gave him permission to talk, and he sorted all that out.
Mary's husband was receiving support when he was here, and his health was deteriorating, but Mary's needs weren't really being addressed because she was expected to do a bit of care too. Then once she was on her own and we realised she wasn't maybe eating as well as she could have been, we got some carers in, twice a day I think it is still, to prompt her to do certain things with her own personal care.
It's nice to know he's there, and if I have any queries, I give him a ring. So I know that you'll try and sort me out.
Well, I got to meet Nazreen through Soha, basically. Catherine rang me up and said, would I be interested in scrutiny? And I said, I'll give anything a try. So I went along to the meeting and then I met Nazreen, who's the chairman of the group, and we seemed to hit it off straight away, really.
When I first met Andy, I don't think I had any kind of perceived judgment of him, because obviously the room was full of people, everybody was different, but the commonality was that we were all tenants of Soha who wanted to have involvement and have an input and have a voice.
We're here to help tenants within Soha. I think also now it's gone beyond that. It's gone to a stage now that I'm so relaxed with Nazreen speaking. I hope some other people do see it and they go, wow, this is what a community is all about, really.
Beyond this headscarf, there are views, there's a voice, and there's opinions, and there's a woman who's proactive and wants to give to her community, really, and do her best and gain skills. I think when people kind of witness or observe me and Andy working together, because of the physical outlook of both of our characters, we probably fit some sort of a stereotype in some people's minds. Again, it's looking beyond the cover of the book, isn't it, really? You have to break a lot of perceptions. I mean, maybe landlords and tenants are involved have a perception of ethnic minority groups, and maybe the ethnic minority groups have a perception of landlords and think, oh, well, we're not supposed to have a relationship with them. No, we just pay rent and that's it. So it's about creating the culture, and I think Soha are ahead in that sense. They do create that culture, otherwise I don't think I'd be where I am within the people that I work with and the colleagues that I work alongside.
Moved into this place in January. Lovely. Happy, happy, happy. It's like a little piece of heaven moving in here.
Mr. and Mrs. Welsh are a couple who used to live in Thame and the other side of Thame. They're in their late 60s, early 70s. Mr. Welsh has not been well for a while. He has had a whole series of strokes and his mobility's been really, really poor. So they've moved here really because they found it really difficult coping on their own without a lot of support. Mrs. Welsh was finding it really difficult as a carer. A lot of work involved in looking after someone who's not at all well.
The staff were 100%. Now I have two come in every morning, shower me and dress me. And two come in at night and they wash me and get me into my dressing gown. And you cannot ask for better service than that.
If I happen to go out, maybe go out for lunch with my daughter, they will come up and make sure he's got a cup of tea and perhaps his own lunch, and they will keep an eye on him.
Because you're relaxed and happy, it feels good.
I've always got this behind me. I don't feel frightened. I feel secure that my future's secure.
The main problems with Mia was she was born at 24 weeks. Problems she's had a few brain ops because she's got hydrocephalus, she's partially sighted, she's got chronic lung disease, she can't feed via the mouth because she's got a gastrostomy now, she's got metabolic bone disease, and she's also just been diagnosed with cerebral palsy. When she came home from hospital, we couldn't park outside the house or anything, so Soha helped us put a drive ramp so we could get her in and out of the house. Other issues we had was getting her up and down stairs and obviously lifting her. Now she's getting heavier, so they've helped us fund a stair lift, they helped us fund our rails in the roof.
Each property is independent and their needs are independent, but we assess those needs based on the referral that we have from the occupational therapist. Obviously the quality of life that it improves for our tenants to be able to live wherever in any of our properties is really important to us.
He sort of bent over backwards to help us. Obviously the main issue with it was getting fundings in place to do it, which once we got the fundings in place, they fitted the drive within 6 weeks.
I think it's a great facility that we're able to carry out them from in the first place, and we can cut down the lengthy referral process that they'd have to go through if they had to just go independently and straight to the occupational therapy department. So for us, it's really important that we carry on with the service.
It's just everything that's happened has made it easier for her, because like more so than with the rail, we haven't got to worry about her now. We haven't got to worry outside. She can just, you know what I mean? It's just made it so much different getting her in and out of a car, because we've got the drive and the walkway and the ramp, and then it's just, yeah, it is so much easier.
It is a journey. We're not there yet, and we probably won't be there anytime shortly, because people's needs do change, and we have to understand people's needs and measure those needs and respond to those needs. People's expectations continually rise, and that's right and appropriate. So we have to keep on the case and keep listening to residents, so we develop our responses going forward. So that's an ongoing process that we will continually be doing. But hopefully we can demonstrate through these examples where we are now, and hopefully by engaging further with customers and with tenants, we can ensure that we fully understand their needs going forward and can respond in future.